What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with another video. So today we're going to just take a look at as close as we can get to a mock-up of a Arcade1UP marble cabinet. So this is my modified Toyshock cabinet. It features a 24-inch screen, similar to what Arcade1UP is going to be offering. However, Arcade1UP's screen is recessed into the cabinet, so it will look a little different. But other than that, this is pretty close to what you're going to get. You have your Playfield and you're going to have your DMD. Now, obviously, I have a live backglass that will change with the games. That's not the case with the first generation of cabinets. So as far as gameplay, it's going to be pretty similar. Now, you may or may not be aware with the Zen Studio tables on Steam, you can change the view. Now, I prefer to play with a traditional type of view where you're just looking down at it, not zooming in and doing all those other things. Now you can see even in this view that the characters, some of the characters are animated and they'll interact with the board as you play, depending on which things you trigger with the gameplay. But all this zooming in, all this stuff, this is unique to Zen Studios in that it's created specifically to do those type of things. Now, obviously, I can't emulate the live nudging and things like that, but I can nudge the screen, as you can see, with my buttons. So I tilt it by nudging too much. Now these ball trails, as you can see there, I'm not a fan of those things, but you can turn those things off in the settings.
Hurry up, Parker! This isn't some sort of dead-busted charity!
But these tables just play different than the traditional pinball tables. But they're still enjoyable. I mean, the reality of it is the Arcade1UP cabinets, just like their 3/4 scale arcade cabinets, the pinball are. Here's this guy. Get out of my way. You see how he's interacting with the screen? That's not something you obviously can't get with a real pool table or pinball table. He jumped on the screen, so it made me lose my train of thought. I don't have my iPad down here to be able to see any comments that you guys are making, if any. But what I was saying was that it's a showpiece. It has beautiful art. So I put my name up, but I'm not gonna worry about that. And these while these tables aren't traditional pinball tables, they're still gonna be fun. You're still gonna enjoy it. Again, it's a centerpiece, it's a conversation starter, you cannot dispute the beauty of those tables. Let's just get back in here. I mean, the beauty of these tables are they're just awesome because they're all digital. They're made to be digital. They're made to be on display, and so you definitely are going to get a good experience with the whole package with these marbles. Now, obviously, Spider-Man is my boy. I love me some Spider-Man. Uh, I'm not a fan of. I prefer the traditional Spider-Man table, which you guys have probably seen on my channel with me playing those. Those I really enjoy. This here, I'll play it. Obviously, I own it, and I've been playing this a little bit. But if I had a choice to have the VPX tables versus these, I would choose those. Now, that being said, you know, if the 10 tables that they're offering on the Marvel, I can deal with. I would prefer the Attack from Mars table because they're more traditional tables. But I definitely feel in Star Wars, I've just never really gotten into Star Wars since way back in the day, and so I can't even relate with any of those tables at all. I think Marvel, most people can relate to Marvel, enjoy Marvel, and so I think Marvel is going to be a popular table for a lot of people. Okay, let me get my. I see some comments here. Uh-oh, they disappeared. Now I don't do a whole lot of live, so I saw your comments, but then they disappeared. Let me see if I can get that back up. Live chat. How's it going? Didn't see your last video about all the different brands. I'm not sure why they won't stay up there. But anyway, I appreciate you guys commenting. I appreciate you guys coming to watch. And thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you hadn't. I really appreciate it. But I think this looks pretty awesome. So this will be about. That's a 24-inch screen. So that's pretty much how the cabinet in the game will look. Like I said, you can't go wrong with these Zen tables if you like pinball. But again, I'm a traditional guy. I'm going to enjoy those a lot more. But I really, the only thing, I just wish they have made live backglasses. That's the only thing that's a bummer to me. I'm not sure how to get out of this table. That's the only thing that I'm not happy with. It's like, what would it make it $100 more to put one of the regular Arcade1UP screens up there, and even just put a static backglass up? What do you guys think? Do you care? As long as you're playing pinball and got your DMD, do you care that the backglass is not changing with each game? Just a static picture? Does it make a difference to you? I just think for the whole look of it, that, you know, given that Arcade1UP cabinets are showpieces, you know, pinball is all about the presentation more so than regular arcades. It's about the presentation, and so those backglasses are a key part. Similar to the backlit marquees on the arcades. You know, when Arcade1UP first came out, they didn't think those backlit marquees were important to us, and there was a additional cost for those, and they wanted to keep the cost down, and so I think similarly they're going to realize that it's just not pinball without that backglass being lit up. It just takes away from the experience. It takes away from the the appearance of it, the presentation of it, by not having that backglass match the game.
That wasn't very spectacular or amazing.
So let me see if I can get
Not give up.
out of this game here. See if I can find another game to play. It's a really bummer. It's a bummer that they got rid of Funhouse. I like Funhouse. I don't own that one. I thought I did. Attack from Mars. Fishtails. I like Fishtails. I like Attack from Mars. I think that the presentation of the Attack from Mars, and see how that's much better when that glass is matching with the table that you play. So this is the same table or the same cabinet, but the back glass is going to change with whichever game you're playing. It just makes for a much better experience. Presentation. Now, what I like about Attack from Mars is, the objectives are pretty simple. So I just locked in. You get 3 balls locked in. You get multi-ball. You're killing this main Martian ship in the center. Pretty simple rules and pretty achievable. So they're fun tables. I've said it plenty of times before, is you can have some really nice looking tables that are really pretty and they're just not fun to play. And so you got to play some of these tables to understand what it is that you like from a pinball. Because most of us just hadn't had a whole lot of experience with pinball. I didn't play a whole lot growing up, so I had to discover these tables in the last year, or not quite a year yet. I think I did this in January of 2020. I finished this mod. The thing I like most about the VPX over, buying a solution like this Arcade1UP, while these are great tables and you're going to enjoy it and have fun, I like the ability to actually modify the actual tables. That was different. That ball jumped down there and came all the way back. Now I'm talking more than I'm playing this, so just trying to let you get an idea and see this in action. I think this Attack from Mars is going to be a very popular table. There's so many people want to get into this hobby that just hadn't, because it's just so cost prohibitive. So here come multi-ball. To build a cabinet like this is just traditionally has just been so expensive. You have this sort of elitist type of following where, because it's techies. It's hardcore techies, that spend a whole lot of money on this hobby. And, I'm a different type of techie where I can talk and I don't mind sharing and teaching and showing people. A lot of tech people have no ability to teach anything, don't know how to talk to people. And so when you have a community like that, it just makes it difficult for you to learn, because they talk rudely, like, oh, everybody knows this, or you should know this, or read the FAQ and all this impersonal stuff, because they just don't have a whole lot of human relationship skills, human interaction. They sit in their cubicles, they sit behind their keyboards, and so that community has created those barriers between the resources needed and the lack of, uh, for lack of a better word, humanized communications. You know, um, people just steered away from this. They rather just spend bukus of money and just have someone ship them a box that's already working. And so this is the great thing about these cabinets that are coming out, because at a fraction of the cost, at a fraction of the cost, you have an entry into this market, into this hobby, with some very decent tables, very decent cabinets, that give you some flexibility. You got four different companies out here: Arcade1UP, um, Well Played. We don't know a whole lot about those with the Italian tables, but those are some pretty decent tables. Um, and you have the Legends Pinball and Toyshock. So this Toyshock cabinet is very well made, and I was able to mod it. I got a full computer in there, even though it's tight inside. This is a very impressive cabinet that plays very well. And so I strongly believe, even if you buy any of these cabinets and are happy with it for a short amount of time or a long period of time, and at any point in that journey, you can decide to modify it. And the cabinets, I believe that all of them are going to also offer a decent looking, a decently built cabinet that you can modify at any time when your interest grows beyond just those initial tables. So that's the beauty of it. The Toy Shop came um, with just one. I mean, 12 tables, and I hadn't played pinball in so long, and those tables were fine for um, the time that I spent with them. But I grew out of it quickly, and I was able to. No, I don't want to exit. I was able to modify this in a pretty short time. I purchased this. I believe I did a pre-order in November, received it early December, had it modified by early January. I definitely wanted to have the plunger in it, so it took me longer. I had to figure that out and get that going. But it it wasn't it wasn't super long, and that's the beautiful part about it. It wasn't super long. No, I don't spend a whole lot of time in Steam. All right. So we looked at the Spider-Man, we looked at Attack on Mars, Fishtails. I like Fishtails. It's a table that can be frustrating sometimes because the ball is just ricochet. These gaps are just so huge in all these little tables. I can't really let you see the flippers and the DMD on these tables with this camera view. Um, but this is a very nice looking table. It looks really, see, whenever you hit that thing, you almost drain the ball instantly. So I was lucky to save that. Now this one has some repetitive speech in it that can drive me crazy sometimes. Um, but it has some animation. I don't know if you can see the guy there. If I can, that's gone. But you have this fisherman here, and he will interact, and he'll actually jump over here at some point in time. Seems like whenever he jumps over there, I always get out. But you can rock the boat. So that's some pretty neat interactions that you wouldn't have on a regular table. See, as soon as you hit that thing there, you're set up for failure. But what I do on my VPX tables, if I really enjoy a table, I'll modify that table, and I'll put one of those little bumpers down here in the center, so it can at least give me opportunity for a ball not to just shoot straight down the middle. And that's something you can do with VPX that you won't ever be able to do with a prepackaged solution like this. You know what I mean? But again, I don't think anybody that buys any of these tables are gonna. I don't think that's gonna be the last dollar you put into pinball. I think you're either going to buy a different table or you're going to mod it at some point in time. Um, so what we got here? Don't. I need to go get my. I need to go get my iPad. Hold on for a second. Oh, fishing. All right, so let me see if I can get on here on my iPad. That way I can actually see what you guys are saying. It's trying to look at this little tiny phone. It's not cutting it. Now you guys know I don't do a whole lot of live stuff, so I apologize that I'm not as professional as otherwise. Let me see if I can find this. You can see some of your questions. Videos, live. Having a little trouble finding it on the iPad here. My videos. I don't see. Well, that sucks. All right. I can't get to it. I don't know. I have to be better prepared for that. And it's kind of hard to interact when you're playing pinball as well. But so this is Gone Fishing. It's a really nice looking table. It's going to look really nice on. That's one that's getting drained on the Arcade1UP table, no doubt. I'm playing at an angle as well, so it's standing to the side of this camera. Ah. Well, that's how it, basically how it's going to look, minus again the matching backglass. This is 24-inch, and and for those who are concerned about 24-inch versus 32-inch versus 40-inch or 42 and all those different sizes, obviously bigger is better, but that's not to say that you can't enjoy 24-inch. I've been enjoying this 24-inch screen, and you know, obviously it would be nicer if it was bigger, but this is not too small. It's not like I'm playing on an iPad, right? You know, so it's a decent enough size. It fits in down with these cabinets well. So I don't, you know, it's not a showstopper that is 24 inches. But obviously, if a similar table has the same features or nice or has, you know, you can play the same type of games, whatever, then obviously bigger is better. But again, in my view, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about purchasing any of them because I have a pretty good solution here already. And I can play all the games that's going to be on the Arcade1UP cabinet. So then it would only be about presentation for me, right? The at games, that would be more about, do I want to modify and get to the bigger screen? Now I could very easily take every component out of this and put it into the at games Legends Pinball and have the bigger screen. So so that's something that's appealing to me, you know. But then I have to think, well, if I'm going to do that, why wouldn't I just go to 40, right? Why wouldn't I just go to one of the few cabinet makers out there that just makes the empty shell? Because I already have the components, right? I would have to buy a TV, obviously, for a 40-inch or larger. But I already have a backglass. I already have the computer. I have most of the components. Um, so costs to convert wouldn't be that steep. It basically be it would basically be almost what it would cost, I guess, to buy one of those other cabinets and start poking around with it, right? So I got a lot of things to think about, but I definitely recommend you getting a pinball into your game room, a digital or virtual pinball. It is a lot of fun. Obviously, a real pinball would be fantastic to have, and if I did that, it would definitely be a stern table. But those things are super expensive. Um, Over time, they're going to require maintenance. That most of us won't have the skills to uh, to deal with that. And as much complaints I would have about the virtual pinball and the required maintenance that you have to do sometimes with it, that at least that's something I can YouTube and or search Google for and get a solution and do myself, versus if I had a real pinball table, I would have to hire somebody that knows how to do these things. Not sure that YouTube and those guys will give me the resources. It's possible that they may, but that's a whole different can of worms, right? Um, but I think I would love to have it. But those things are huge. They're beautiful, they're expensive, and they're huge. So the digital, virtual pinball is definitely a uh, nice option. And these companies here at the end of 2020 and into 2021 definitely is worth looking into and purchasing one without a doubt. Which one? That's going to be for you to determine. I did a video earlier this week, uh, just talking about the table selections that are available. If you're not going to modify it and to be able to give you all the games, like these nearly 300 games I have on my cabinet, plus I have the Steam games as well. Uh, is it normal to see that blur effect? No, that's not normal for virtual. That's normal um, for the FX and FX2, but those can be turned off. So if I back up out of here, I'm gonna turn my keyboard back on. And I don't play a whole lot of Steam on here, but I know some of these buttons. I need to reprogram these buttons so that these buttons um, do what they're supposed to do. So I can go down here to options, and there should be an option to turn. So if I go, what I need to do, my shift. So under video, I believe it is right here. Reflection, ball trails. So I go down here and turn this ball trails off. Shadow quality, make that high. I'm not sure all that is. Reflection on. Full screen. All right, so I'm gonna back up out. That should save. And so now I shouldn't have those ball trails. See that? So it's more like traditional pinball. So you do have the ability to do that. And I prefer it like this. Reason why I have to reprogram my keys is because I had to restore from backup, and I didn't back up after fixing the Steam, so I'm gonna have to get Steam back going. And that's the beautiful thing about, it's the pros and cons of PC. A PC is a computer, and it can do some wacky stuff and just stop working for any particular reason. But you have a backup drive which I have. I just need to back up after I make major changes, right? But I was able to restore, and all the tables that weren't working are working again, but some I had to tweak that I tweaked previously, I have to retweak to get going. Uh, and I believe that the Zen Arcade1UP tables are going to allow you to do those modifications because on the demo that was shown today from Zen Studios, that at the end of this game it popped up to that same menu that we just saw, so you should be able to navigate and do those things, so that shouldn't be an issue. So if you prefer to have those things, you can have those. And I really apologize that I cannot find this live show. If someone has a link to the show, if you can put it into the if you're on my Arcade1UP, I'm sorry, my 3/4 scale group on Facebook, you put the link up to this, maybe I can click on it, and then I can have access to it. So if you're in my group for the 3/4 scale pinball, please put a link up so that I can click on it and get to the live feed on my. So I'm trying to find that myself. So I'll go to groups. And 3/4 scale digital pinball. So if anybody's in there, I'll look for that. Make a post. All right. So I'm going to go to a different table. So we looked at, I want to exit single player. So we looked at Fishtails, we looked at Attack of Mars. I believe Party Zone is on the list. No, Party Zone is not on the list. Do I have any more marble? I have Wolverine, looks like.
Wolverine.
So let's start up Wolverine. What's going on here?
Wolverine.
I don't play this, so I'm not sure what they're asking here. So I'll just pick any one of these, I guess. All right. So Wolverine is one of the tables. You see it's more cartoony, right? But again, the Arcade1UP is going to have the DMD, the dot matrix display, but it won't have the matching backglass. And to me, again, that's part of the presentation. I wish they would have done that. I would imagine with the second generation, they're going to do that. See, so this is more like story mode, you know, pinball. So as you can see, the ball trails is off. You know, with this FX3, you can also have like the scores popping up, showing you how much everything, you know, how many points you're getting from the things that you're hitting. I don't like that either. Goodness. Shoot again. And with these pinball tables, you just have to learn what the objectives are. Some tables I know what the objectives are, and some I don't. You definitely enjoy the tables more when you take time to read what those objectives are. And so you know what to do for each table. But again, I don't have the haptic feedback that you would get on the Arcade1UP. That's something I can add because this is a DIY project. I can add those type of things on at any given time if I so choose. But I don't at this point in time. It's not something I'm missing. It's not something I ever had, so there's nothing for me to miss, right? I don't know what I'm missing. One day I may check it out. So again, you can play these things on your iPad or your desktop computer and all those type of things, but there's nothing like being standing up at the cabinet playing pinball. This is the way it was designed to be played. So this is the closest you're going to get to what the experience is with the Arcade1UP Marble or the Attack from Mars cabinet would be like. I would say no matter which cabinet you get, you're going to be happy with it. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Pinball is a lot of fun. I can honestly say since I've had this created, I have not touched my Street Fighter 2. Now see, I was playing some type of time thing. I have not turned on that. Well, I've turned them on, but I haven't played my Street Fighter 2. I have not played my vertical screen as much as I play my pinball. And the next thing I play the most is Golden Tee. So pinball has definitely been getting the lion's share of my time and gameplay. So you're going to enjoy the cabinet, no doubt. That is not an issue at all. Yep, I heard a fun house was taken off. They obviously want to use that on the next table. That's a little bummer, but you know, it's still a bunch of good tables on there. Okay, here. Okay, so I can see some of the comments here. I would consider buying a $2.99 countercade Toyshock before anything else. Yeah, you know the countertop pinball solutions. Those are interesting. Now I had an issue with countertops prior to my Miss Pac-Man, and I would say the countertop pinball would have the same struggles, right? It's like finding the right place to be able to sit it and play it is the challenge with any countertop. But I like that I made this totally standalone, so I don't have to worry about plugging it in. And I would think that if I had the pinball countertop, I would look to do the same thing, so that that eliminates the need to have power wherever I find the best spot to sit the countertop. See if I can get back to these live chat. You play Big Mike, you play Golden Tee almost every day. How much did it cost? So, Michael, if you look at search for Detroit Love, or you're already on there, so click my icon and then search for pinball or Toyshock. In the description of any one of the videos, it gives you the breakdown of everything I put in the cost. So I would say I already had the computer. I'm not using the SSD hard drive right now. That's probably would speed up play, but it's not. I don't have a problem with it at this point in time. So I already had the computer. I did have to upgrade the power supply and the memory card, the memory graphics card. But I would say, including the initial purchase of the cabinet, which was $400, I probably spent $1,000 total for everything. So that's not a bad price, considering the gameplay that I have. So I don't know if you guys have seen the the normal interface, which is Pinball X, but it looks great. So if I get out of this, exit the game. See, it's just a computer, so I have my now Steam. Now I can launch the Steam games from inside of Pinball X, but when I restore it again, I have a issue and I have to reconfigure it. So I hadn't had time to do that. So I have 281 tables. And this it's a lot of fun. So I like the Spider-Man that's here way better than the Zen version. This game is so much fun. It is so much fun. And that's the thing with pinball. It's like what's fun for me may not be fun for you. What's considered a fantastic or great or good table may suck for you. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to play these things if you can. To really find what you like.
Hey, who do you think you are? Spider-Man?
I actually do think I'm Spider-Man. Now, some tables work with the plunger, some tables do not.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts.
Monty Ball! And man, you gotta have some tables with multi-ball. If they come out with a table that don't have games with multi-ball, that is a disservice. Ah man. Except when you let all the multi-balls go out at one time. That's never good. But this table is awesome, man. I can't zoom in on this one. But the sound effects, the little quirks from James Jameson, all the audio, all the visuals, all the gameplay. As you start to meet the objectives, the music ramps up, and they interact with you. Man, Stern has done a fantastic job. I would love to own this as a real pinball table. But I found that most of the games that I really love are Stern pinball, which is that's because they're the only pinball table maker that's still in business, right, in the United States. So their tables are going to be the most modern, obviously, right? So, but I like a lot of Williams tables as well. But the new modern tables like this, these things, there's nothing to compete with it. Now these are modern, real pinball tables. So, and a recreation of a real pinball table. So these are vastly different than the Zen tables that are modern, cartoon, made for digital display pinball tables. Last year I was going to purchase a Toyshock, but I held back. Well, I mean, for $400, again, there was no options then, right? But I don't regret anything. If I had kept it the same, would I be as happy as now? Absolutely not. But for additional $600 over the cost of this, that would be the cost of me buying a new one of these other tables, right? And so those two tables combined is this product you see before for you, and with over almost 300 tables built in, and a whole bunch more to put in. But who has time to do all that? You don't really get like packages that has all the tables on it. There are some, like I've been trying to download this one that's like 178 gig, and I've been trying it for several days on a high internet. It'll get up to, I think it got up to 78 gig one time, and then just bombs, and it won't let you use one of those download managers. So it's been ridiculous. So I'm just curious, because I'm happy with my table and I would do it a different way, but I'm just curious what tables are on there. But they should have broke it up in some smaller packages. I think I got up to maybe 120 and it bombed. So, it's just ridiculous. So getting a bundle where you can just download it like you do on the Pies is just not really available for the pinball. So you gotta get your hands dirty and figure some stuff out, and that's time consuming. But once you get it, and make sure you have a good backup of it and back it up, update the backup whenever you make major changes, man, you can play this thing for a long time to come. So, because it never gets old. If I do purchase a Toyshock, I'll mod my own. Yeah, it's help out there. It's even the guy that sells those empty cabinets. I forget, Game Room Solutions, I believe it is. They have videos that walk you through, because obviously they have a connection, right? You buy the empty cabinet, get your computer and put it in their cabinet. You want to be able to get some games on there, so they have some tutorials that will walk you through setting up. And that's the good thing about it. Even before you buy any cabinet, you can start getting your computer components and setting up everything outside the cabinet. You can buy your Playfield, you can buy your computer, you can get your backglass, and they can just be sitting up on monitor stands and laying across the table, and you can start configuring this stuff well before you buy the actual cabinet, or build your own cabinet, or whatever you want to do with cabinet-wise. The cabinet is going to need the internals, and you can do those today. So that's what I would recommend doing. Do I have the Harlem Globetrotters? Yeah, I believe I do. I think I've only played it maybe once. Excuse me. I'm not sure what this joy the key thing is up here. Let's get that out of there. Now I'm gonna turn it off. Turn it back on. All right. All right, so Harlem Globetrotters, that would be laser tag, HIJK. So this Harlem Globetrotters, this is a EM table, electromagnetic, mechanical. I'm sorry. That's loud. There's some of these tables that I don't mind playing, but I prefer the solid state tables for the most part. So again, you got your backglass. Now this one doesn't have a DMD, right? So it's a solid state, so it has a digital table. And see, things like this is where you have to configure it. Like, so this extra DMD thing is on here. And so I would have to come in here and press the F1 key and turn off this extra DMD. And then once it's all set, then it won't show up anymore. So now you can see it's gone, and you just have your regular score. So things like that you just have to tweak, but once it's tweaked, you're good to go. But the beauty of having the modified cab is you're not restricted to any particular type of table. Get it. So I do notice with these EM tables, man, you can't nudge it a whole lot because those things will tilt so quickly. It's ridiculous. I was the pinball champion growing up. I was in fifth grade in Harlem Globetrotters. Have you, Big Mike? Have you been to a actual Harlem Globetrotters game? I have. I think I've been to at least two in my lifetime with Curly. I've been with the old school Globetrotters, and then I took my kids. I have two sets of kids that are 10 years apart, so I think it was my first set of kids that I took them, or it may have been the girls. I can't remember, but we went one time at the. It had to be the girls. Um, we went to the Palace and saw the new school Globetrotters. So a lot of fun. The Generals, they always play the Generals, and they always beat the Generals. If you guys don't know, I don't know that they're still in business. I haven't heard of them in years. Those yeah, those flippers on any of those EM, because even the one on the right is you have that gap there. So yeah, those things get pretty tricky. Okay, interesting. All right. Let's see any more. Uh, am I an engineer? No, I'm an IT guy. So I'm a the jack of all trades in IT. So I've been in IT since the late '80s. So I've been in this thing before they had certifications and all these things that the young bucks brag about having, and I may not know all the technical terms for some things, but I sure enough know how to work my way around just about anything that's technology based. Um, are you interested in the At Games table? The At Games table, yeah, I'm definitely interested in it. I'm interested in see how they pull off many of the things that they are advertising. You know, now Zen came out and they talked about they're not going to give you the cabinet mode. So this is cabinet mode. So well, earlier when I was in the Zen in the stream, they give you the cabinet mode code. You have to send them a picture of your cabinet, and then they give you that. So obviously, I already have that code. So if I bought the at games, then I could play Steam the same way I'm playing Steam on this cabinet. Um, Minus that, you know, I think that's just silly. You have a cabinet that allows you to play Steam. I don't see why. I see why Zen Studios is taking that stance because they got a lot invested in the Arcade1UP. But the reality of it is, they win either way because they're freaking buying their games, right? They're buying their games on Steam. So, you know, I don't really get that. I've never been one of those guys that I have to hate Apple to like Android or vice versa. I didn't hate Windows CE when I had a Palm Pilot. I use both of them. I enjoy technology. But obviously I'm not spending millions of dollars on developing a solution for the market either. But I'm interested in the at games. I'm interested in all of these. Am I going to buy any of them? That's to be determined because I already have a great solution right here. I already have a solution that can play the Zen tables just like the Arcade1UPs. I can play the games that at games is going to be playing. I can play the games that the well played is offering. I can play the games that Toyshock is offering. So my motivation to buy any of those products is very low, but my curiosity, and I'm a techie, and I just I love this stuff. So, will I buy any of them? Who knows? Which one? Who knows? Obviously, to buy the upgraded Toy Shock would, you know, doesn't make sense for me. To buy the Arcade1UP, again, that's those things are about presentation. About I really like the Mars Revenge, the Attack on Mars. Um, I don't know what time it is here. If it's 1 o'clock in the morning or not, so I'm tired. So um, I really like the look of that cabinet. I really like the games that are on that included. So I would be tempted to get that, but I already have a 24-inch cabinet, right? So if I'm gonna get a different cabinet, don't I want a bigger one? You know what I mean? So that's my own dilemma. All of us have our own dilemmas of why we're gonna choose um, the which one that we do. Yeah, Palm Pilots. I used to have a website called palmloyal.com, hobbyist website, and that thing I probably made 500 or 600 bucks a month off that website. It was pretty awesome back in the day. Um, hey, how's it going? Didn't see you on live show. How do you feel about the at games? Okay, I just talked about that. And ability to add tables. Yeah, we'll just have to see, how those things are going to work out. You know, I've yet to add any games to my Legends Ultimate yet because I just, time restraints. So, um, so we will see. We will see how that turns out. Me personally, I have to dim it some. Please tell me there's a dimming mode. Well, yeah. I mean, this is just a computer, so these screens can be dimmed. Uh, I mean, it's not as bright as it looks on this screen. What graphics card do I have in my computer? Again, go to my site, YouTube channel, and search for Toy Shock or Pinball, and it's in the description. Every part that's in here is in the description. So I don't recall offhand GX something, but look in the description and you can see. Again, guys, I'm a different channel than most of the other guys are just news or, you know, my whole goal is to show people how to do exactly what I did. Now, sometimes do I have the best delivery? That's questionable. Um, but I think I have the biggest heart in wanting you to be able to do exactly the same thing that I did. To try and take the mumbo jumbo and the techie stuff out to the point where you can watch something and emulate it, and that's what my goal is. Modern these arcade games are time consuming. I, yeah, I mean the challenge. I mean, I can do the the Street Fighter 2 in my sleep. Right, I've done so many mods of those. Um, Over time, the challenges with any of the modding is that when I did the Marvel, that Marvel, if you guys hadn't seen my video on the Marvel, that Marvel for my great grandson, that thing, or my great nephew, my grand nephew, that was my best product. Every component worked, the volume switch, the off on, uh, it just you wouldn't have known it was modded. You would think he bought it like that, and that thing looked awesome. Um, and I utilized every trick in the book for it. But as I worked from those to the Mortal Kombat, Costco version, they all presented different challenges. The marquee, how to utilize the marquee and have it powered up and all these things. Each time I went to a different type of cabinet, they had different challenges as Arcade1UP changed different components. Um, but the Street Fighter, those things are hard to even find nowadays. So um, if someone asked me to mod, I, you know, I would have to think hard about whether I want to invest the time into it to doing it. But the Street Fighters, I can do those in my sleep, so it don't take me a whole lot of time, and I do it along other projects. So when I've modded, I've always charged $300 for the mod services, and they bought the machine, they bought the parts. I may have bought the parts, but they cash at me the money for. I gave them the list, what the amount is. They cash at me that I bought the parts and put together and did the whole thing for them. And I just did it alongside anything else I was doing. And so I never said, "Hey, this is going to be done in 3 days or a week or 2 weeks." I didn't give them any time frame because I'm doing it amidst all my other activities, right? So, but I definitely, if you hadn't modded any of them, I definitely recommend that you do that. Adam's Family drains too fast. Yeah, and that's a lot of these tables. Like I said, they can look pretty, and people can say they're the best, and all that. If you're constantly hitting those areas that don't give you any points, right? Because you have to be so accurate to get up the ramps and those things, or they drain so fast. It's just that the tables aren't fun to play, and so it's got to be the tables have to have a balance of being fun, but also giving you a challenge without just being ridiculous, where the ball's just constantly going down the drain or off the side shoots so quickly. And these comments keep disappearing. I ordered my own parts and fix my own. Yep, yep, that's awesome. And like I said, I have plenty of videos for people, and I try to answer most of the comments. Sometimes I'm just not able to get to them, but I try to help as many people out as I possibly can as one man. Uh, that's just my personal thoughts about Adam's Family. Yeah, no, I'm not putting it down either. And I was just talking in general about just tables in general. There's some tables that are just ridiculous in how easy the ball goes out. So yeah, Adam's Family. I don't play Adam's Family a whole lot. Now the challenge with these VPX tables is sometimes you'll get a table. Some tables are just impossible to get. Like Ghostbusters. I mean, I have it, but it was impossible to get. Nearly impossible is the proper term, right? Because I have it. Some tables you just can't get, or you have to get it some other kind of way. Um, and um, Sometimes these tables just have issues because people play these tables on desktops, so they don't have a cabinet, and so the table may be available, but it's in the desktop mode. And then people have issues on the tables, but they never update it, so they know what the solution is. So you have to search for the solution, and so you might have to tweak some of the scripts. You know what I mean? So that's where it's a pain in the butt. But the Adams Family has an issue that the ball gets stuck. The version that I have, and they may have a solution out there to fix it, but you can be playing and that ball goes into, I think, things box or something, or the hand comes out and grabs the ball, and then it just gets stuck. And that's something that probably can be fixed with a little tweak of the program, but I just never had time or taken the time to evaluate it because the table, you know, because of that, hasn't captured my attention long enough for me to justify the time and resources into resolving. So while it's on here and it is playable, if you get into that certain situation, then the game's just over. So I don't even mess with it, right? Um, so I steer to the games that I really like, um, and I just don't have the time to go to the ones that, you know, I'm not going to have enjoy going to play, play the game. So try and see these things here. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Mike. All right. Is there any other tables you guys wanted to see? Twilight Zone. Why these turn this volume down? I have Twilight Zone. I'm not sure what this party monster. Oh yeah, yeah. So uh, is it called? Yeah. So party. I have the same table. One table has her dressed appropriately, and then the other one has some really terrible looking. And you can't really see it because it's a little blurry, but her boobs are exposed in that one. But yeah, I have the Playboy one, and that they're exposed. Even the creature from the Black Lagoon, the lady, is nude or partially nude. Um, I don't think anything else on this table is any different. And the table's, load fairly fast. You get this little spinning loading thing here. So again, the back glass has her exposed a little bit there. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I don't play this table a whole lot, so I don't have an opinion one way or the other. Uh-oh. Nope. I hate when I don't make those ramps because that's what's gonna happen right there. Yeah, they're downloaded for evaluation, educational purposes. Um, yeah, but for the most part, they're downloaded for educational purposes, one table at a time, which is can be a little unnerving. Um, so that's the party monsters. Somebody was asking about the Twilight Zone. So for the most part, most of the tables play well. They respond well. The the what do we look for Twilight Zone? I was just playing that yesterday, so I hadn't played that in a long time. I like the NASCAR one. It's pretty fun. The car ones, the Mustang's pretty fun. Uh, but there's Twilight Zone. Uh, yeah, I think you heard the Gorgar one just recently. Yeah, again, I'm not going to play 300 tables or 200 tables. I'll only play. a good dozen of them. Uh-oh. Let me turn the volume up a little bit. And most of these tables, you can either use the plunger or the button. So, and I'm not really good at most of these tables. The ones I enjoy, like Spider-Man, I can play that one for a long time. But it's like anything, you get better the more you understand how the tables work. You understand the objectives. Understand how to keep the ball in play on those particular tables.
Beyond this door is a dimension of sight.
Come on. So that's Twilight Zone. Pretty decent table. I can play that one. Nitro, Ground Shaker. I don't know that I have that one, Big Mike. I have Godzilla. No, I have Gilligan's Island. Yeah, Gilligan's Island. Yeah, most of those theme tables, like the early '70s things, like Charlie's Angels and Gilligan, all those tend to be my least favorite because they're they're just too early. Now again, I can relate to all of those shows. And I can relate to all of those the things that they're named after, like Muhammad Ali and things like that. But the actual tables, those aren't. I didn't play a whole lot of pinball, so I don't have any hands-on experience with any of those tables. No, none of the tables appeal to me from a nostalgic standpoint. Is from a playing standpoint. They may draw to me from a nostalgic standpoint because I loved Gilligan's Island. I used to watch that every day. I go whenever it came on, every Saturday or every day, whenever it came on. Charlie's Angels and all those things has a nostalgic value for the namesake, and that's the importance of having licenses, right? Because we can relate to those things. But as far as gameplay, I don't have any experience like, oh man, I can't wait to hear those bells and whistles on the Gilligan's Island table. You know what I mean? So I have all those because I can relate to it from a degree, but not from playing. Like Wayne's World, I don't think this is it's an okay table. Wheel of Fortune, obviously I can relate to that.
Wow, Nelly.
And who won't have, who's gonna have a pillow table without having Whoa Nelly on it? Come on now. Big juicy melons, ripe and ready. Come on. So I'm not gonna zoom in for you guys, but my local corner pizza shop had Pinball at high speed. Yep. And that's the same thing with arcades, arcade games. You know, we play what was available to us, right? And so I'm trying to think what that arcade game was called, Zap Zap or something like that. My buddy came over. He was like, "You have Zap Zap," or I may be saying it slightly wrong. Um, and I was like, "I have no idea what that game is, but let's find it." I found that game on my Gallagher cabinet, and he played that thing for hours. And it's a game I recall seeing, but it may have gotten one quarter of mine. But he loved that thing, and he played that thing for hours, hours. And so we can relate to our history and our experiences. And back then, for most of us, we didn't have a big, huge arcade because it was at the beginning. Those huge arcades didn't even exist initially. We had whatever two or three games that the bowling alley had, the party store he had, the laundromat, whatever was near to us that could make some money off these cabinets, they had them, and so we all have different fond memories of different, you know, pinball machines and or arcade machines. Yeah, I've played the Gilligan a couple of times, and it was nothing to hold me there. Just more of a nostalgic value as well. Terminator 2. People talk about that game. I'm just not a fan of it. One of my favorites is this ACDC. This table, I play this a whole lot. I like this a whole lot. Music wise, and I know most of those songs. I wouldn't say growing up that I turned the radio on to play any of those songs, but I can relate to all those songs, and they're great songs, and and they integrate it into the gameplay so well that it is tons of fun to play. Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Or that's a nostalgic thing. I watched so much Rocky growing up, Rocky and Bullwinkle. Um, my TV probably fried from watching it, but the this table, you know, I've only played it a few times. Tom and Jerry's on here the same way. Um, I don't think I have a Woody Woodpecker um, pool ball, a pinball table. And I don't know if one exists, but if it's out there, I probably would grab it just for nostalgic value. America's Most Haunted, I play that every now and then. This is one of the games that has stopped working at some point in time, and I don't know why. And then when I restored my backup, it started working again. There's some tables that have what they call Ultra DMD, and I don't know enough about Ultra DMD to understand why it stopped working and how to get it back working without having to do the restore. So that's something I have to be cautious of because it may do the same thing again. So that was a bummer. Um, but at least I got it restored. And every now and then, the DMD will hide behind the table or not display. And I don't know why it does that. Um, see, the DMD is not even showing up here. So you always have to have the keyboard around just in case something acts wacky. I see. I think I turned this off, and I don't have a way to turn it back on without going through the code. So because the F1 button is not working on this. Let's see here. Resume game. Quit the editor. Debug. Let's try that. Ball control. No, no. So I'll have to figure out how to get this scoreboard back on this particular game. But this is a game I definitely enjoy playing from time to time. But without a scoreboard, it won't be as fun.
I never believed in ghosts until I did.
True. So that's what you get out of an Arcade1UP solution or Well Played or Toyshock is, for the most part, you won't have these issues where you have these random things that you have to worry about. It's just gonna work. It's just gonna work when you plug it up, turn it on, plug it up, turn it on, and just play whatever tables. And you shouldn't have random problems that prevent you from playing. I don't know if you guys know there's a Attack and Revenge from Mars game, which is pretty decent as well. So let's just see if it's working as it should.
This is an emergency broadcast. The Earth is being invaded by flying saucers from Mars.
Goodness.
Return to battle.
Come on, let's go back to battle, soldier. I appreciate you guys, stopping in and checking the table out.
No time to pee. Blast those Martians.
I always assume I've done a lot of this stuff, and I hadn't. So people ask me like, "There's a video for it," and then like, "Oh, there's no video for it." But you don't know how many times I've recorded videos to make a video, and just for whatever reason never got around to actually uploading it. And I do everything on my phone, so obviously I run out of space at some point in time. So I wish they would have put this table on as well on the Attack from Mars. Because it's just as fun as the original one is, with a little different twist to it. I mean, focus it. I mean, well, the focus is just because this camera, and when you're live, I don't have the same controls as I do. Let me see what this thing does. Yeah, there's no. Oh, there's zoom. I don't know how I just did that. So it's much clearer than what you're seeing on the live screen. So, but this zoom in lets you see more detail. This thing is it's crystal clear, no doubt about it. I'll just go back to Steam for a minute too, with it zoomed in like this, so you can see. Okay. Zen Studios. Gone fishing. So you can see the detail on this thing is rich, strong colors. It's not blurry or faded out. That's just the camera from that distance. So obviously I can't be zoomed in and have you see everything, but you can at least see the quality of the screen. Uh-oh. See him interacting, he just went fishing. So he's fishing while I'm waiting. So that's the interaction you get on the Zen table. No. Two balls locked. And give me some multi-ball action in a second. If I can hold on. If I get this third ball in. Nope. That's it. Oh, you see that? And see, that thing shut up there, came back, and now I won't have my opportunity for multi-ball because game is over. In some games like this game, it ends so fast, man. Other games like Spider-Man, I can go forever.
You have leveled up and upgraded this table.
Yeah, going fishing is a lot of fun, but it's like I said, it's a little more frustrating than some other games. So I didn't. I gotta reprogram my actual pinball because normally you can maneuver through this thing with all the buttons. And just so you guys know, I have 4 buttons on the front, and then the plunger. So this would be the plunger button or launch button when this doesn't work for some tables. And then you have these other 3 for exit and enter and coin, things like that. And then on both sides, I have both a plunger button and not plunger, but a flipper button and a nudge button. And even the coin button when you're playing a game is a front nudge. Those are things I had to figure out when I modded how many buttons I need to have without it looking too crazy. So I wish I could just see the games I own and not see all this other junk. Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think I own that one. No. See, it's not so obvious on what you own on this thing. It's ridiculous. Oh well, yeah, it has that key thing, so yeah. All right, so these are the ones I own up here. No, because I own Spider-Man, but that's not showing up there. So I think you have to make them favorites.
Jaws.
I definitely like Jaws. I have Jaws on my on the VPX tables as well.
On board my vessel.
Now, obviously, this is more of the cartoony thing.
Master, pilot, and captain.
What are you live streaming? Let me see if I can bring that back up. What are you live streaming? Pinball? Where are you live streaming, Detroit Love? Pinball? You have most of the features that the pinball machines will be offering. Yeah. You're coming in late, but yeah, that's why I said there's really no need for me to buy any of these tables because my modified Toyshock can do everything that those tables can do and more. Right? The At Games obviously has a bigger screen. That mine doesn't have the haptic feedback on both At Games and the Arcade1UP. So they have some things that I can they have some things that mine is lacking, but game selection, there's no comparing to what I can do. So that's what I said. Most people, once you get bit by the pinball bug and you get your first table, don't expect that to be the last dollars that you spend on pinball, because you're gonna want to do something. You're gonna want to get hold of different games. You're gonna want bigger screen. You're gonna want something that's gonna demand more money from you. So get your mind ready. Get what you want. Don't settle. Don't settle for less than what you want, because if you say, okay, this machine's $100 more than the other. Let me turn this down. One machine might be $100 more, and you say I'm gonna go with the least expensive. Well, if you decide you need to get that, now you got to pay that whole price again, right? So pay the extra $100 and get what you want, because you're going to spend some more money down the line regardless. And so that's the reality of it. And so minimize duplicate purchases, right, where you can, because we all said the same thing. I've said it numerous times. When I first bought this Arcade1UP Street Fighter cabinet here, when I first bought that, I thought, I gotta buy this and it's cost this much and all that. And now I have Golden Tee and Legends Ultimate and Jams and Pinball and Galaga, and so your passion's gonna drive, you know, your pocketbook. So pinball is a lot of fun. I'm just telling you. I mean, this Jaws here is so. It has the same features of the same loops and same thing. It's just done totally different. So it really comes down to what tables appeal to you. Do you like this adventure story mode, cartoony pinball, or do you like the traditional pinball? Yep, yep. The wife is gonna be on board. If my wife knew that the Golden Tea cabinet was out, she would make me go buy it. That's her game. She's got a birthday coming up. Maybe I'll get that for her. But it's four player, and see, I just don't like when they do that. It's just only one game when it has four player, but then you have this big giant cabinet that's got four player things. So, ugh, some of these things they do just drives me crazy. How do you have the nudge set for side buttons under the flipper buttons? How do you have your nudge set? Brad, I'm not sure exactly what you're saying, but on all of the tables, the nudge is set for those side buttons and the front button, so I can nudge the table. See, I'm hit the front button, it's nudging forward. I just tilt it, and then if I hit the side two buttons, it's gonna nudge those directions. So that's just standard. Those are options to assign to a button if you have buttons available. If you don't put enough buttons on there, then obviously you don't have the ability to add those things. So I have FX, I have FX2, I have FX3, I have the other competitor software in Steam, but I never ever play those in the cabinet mode. Um, I have Pinball Arcade, I have Stern Pinball Arcade, but I don't even know that those things even work properly in here because I've never actually tried them on the cabinet here. Launch configuration utility. I probably should do that. I'm just gonna launch it and see what it does. I'm sure it's not gonna be in cabinet mode, and it's gonna be wacky and be for desktop. I know they should have a free tables. But I'm not sure if I can rotate this. And then they don't have the back glass. I'm not sure what this thing is doing. Just play, man. Oh my goodness. I'm out of here. Resume game. See, there's no options to rotate. Yeah, this sucks. Oh, here it is. So it's not letting me click. Look like this button here should be for me to change the view, but it's not doing anything. Oh, I think I'm hitting the wrong button. No, help and options. Table nudge off and on. No, it's not doing anything. I'm gonna exit. All right, so that sucks. But whatever is available to be played, I can play it. But I don't really have too much need to do anything outside of Pinball X. There's some other front ends that are available that I just don't have time to learn about yet. But there's tons of tables to play, and you definitely won't be bored with pinball.
Wow, Nelly.
Gotta love old Nelly. Let's play some old Nelly. It's the silliest game, it's crappy game, but you know it's eye candy. Where's Nelly? It's just more of a gimmick table. The only thing they have is haptic feedback, yeah, and a larger screen too. Hey, Michael, I don't know if you're still on here. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. Says Detroit Love, the original GT cab is $250 at Best Buy right now, and they give you a set of case of Titleist golf balls. So the $250 for the Golden Tee. Well, that's a good deal. Best Buy, if anybody's interested in doing that. Yeah, that Silver Strike tees with the bowling on the Golden Tee. That would be. I would sell this one and buy that in a heartbeat. I started to mod my Golden Tee initially, and I actually have a component that's inside of there that'll let the computer hook up to it for the trackball. And actually, the components that's in here I had set up to play arcade games, and I was going to mod the Golden Tee, but the trackball just didn't work uh, properly, and so I had to abandon that. I didn't want to jack up my Golden Tee and have a have a more modern games, but then not have it play correctly. So that's something I may look at a later date. So this image should have all those games still on it, even though I'm having joystick on here to actually play it. Um, I actually could run a cable from this computer from this pinball table over to the trackball and be able to play bowling and stuff like that from that. If I had that golden tee sitting next to this cabinet, I can have it split and work in both cabinets if I want it. But I think I've been on here going on 2 hours now, so and it's probably 2 o'clock in the morning here in Detroit. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this live stream, guys. I appreciate you guys taking time out and staying up late with me. It's probably earlier where you guys are at. But I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments. I don't know how this live thing works. Do the comments that you guys talk, do they stay on when it's saved? I hope so, so I can go back and read and then respond to the things that I missed. I appreciate you guys as always, man, and I hope this video was helpful for those who watch live and those who watch later. If you have questions of other tables you want to see, other videos you want to see, just let me know. I always appreciate the comments, the likes, subscriptions. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do that. Um, and that will help us grow for sure. And until next time, guys, I'll see you on the web.